Good evening, it's Rodney Allen Rippy, and it is Thursday night, and this is the Evening Report. Breaking news, 1 hour before President Biden officially dropped out of the presidential race, a lot of people don't know he was negotiating a very important prisoner swap. The Wall Street Journal reports that Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Wheatland were part of the prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia. This was the biggest and most important prisoner exchange since the Cold War. They say Turkey had a major role in negotiations, and so hats off to Turkey being involved. This swap involved 24 detainees and 7 countries. Now, this swap comes after years of quiet and complicated negotiations. These negotiations put an end to a nightmare of 5 years for Wheatland, and he was locked up there in Russia. And Gershkovich, he was there just over a year. He was a reporter and somehow got tangled up in all of this. We here at 90.3 FM want everyone to know and want to remind our listeners, when you're out traveling in foreign countries, remember, you're not in America. We're very blessed to have these freedoms. And though our judicial system is flawed, we do know that it has happened. But when you're traveling in these foreign places, be careful. Watch your mouth, watch your actions, and watch your habits. You are a guest in these foreign countries, so don't forget that. And their laws and their systems are not always friendly for Americans. Making more national headlines, we want to talk about Norma Pridgett. Norma Pridgett, back in 1949, she made a false statement against 4 young African-American men. These 4 young men were friends, and they were all just out having fun one afternoon, minding their own business. Their names were Samuel Shepard, Walter Irving, Charles Greenlee, and Ernest Thomas. Ernest Thomas was the oldest of the bunch. He was 26. Samuel and Walter were 22, and Charles Greenlee was the youngest of the group. He was just 16 years old. Well, they're out having a nice afternoon. This lady, Norma Pridgett, she decided to cook up a story, and she said that her and her husband were accosted by these 4 young men at gunpoint. They were kidnapped, and they took her off and raped her. Well, sadly, in that day and time, that was called Jim Crow. What happened was the word spread, and before you knew it, the whole town was in an uproar. A racist mob ascended on Samuel Shepard's home, looted it, and burned it to the ground. Ernest tried to run, of course trying to get away, and they had a mob of 1,000 men. They tracked him down, and they killed him. They said that he was shot over 400 times. Well, Stephen and Walter were all caught up in this, and of course, this whole thing drug on for years, and so Samuel and Walter were actually being taken from a prison, and they said that this trial had already been ruled on, that it was not what it seemed, but they were going to retry them again. And believe it or not, there was a sheriff by the name of Willis McCall. He was transporting these young men, and he said that they somehow tried to accost him, and it turned out that both of them were shot. Well, Walter Irving, he survived the shooting, and he told the authorities that McCall had actually pulled over, ordered them out of the car, and shot them at point blank range. This nightmare for Charles Greenlee, as he sat in jail, he finally was paroled in 1962. Walter Irving was paroled in 1968, but he was found dead in his car. Needless to say, Norma Pridgett lived out her life, and she just died the other day, and she was 92 years old. This is what I'm saying. These are certain things that are just not the best of stories, and that will let you know your freedom can be snatched away in a moment. The moral of this story is Miss Pridgett, she lived out a life carrying this terrible burden of knowing what she had done, but she lived to be 92 years old. And these other young men, they had actually died and met a terrible fate. On to local news. Boar's Head deli meats have had a major recall of over 7 million pounds of meat. They said that due to a deadly diphtheria outbreak, they're saying that they should check certain product numbers, and you can call and find out if you have any of this meat. You can call 800-352-6277. That's 800-352-6277. I know a lot of people like deli meat. You want to eat and, be on the run and stuff like that, but these prepared meats have a problem. You do not want to get those numbers in your refrigerator. But But numbers you do want, somebody bought a Mega Millions lottery ticket there in La Palma, and that thing is worth $415,000. You want those numbers. So make sure you get out there. All you Mega Million lottery ticket holders, you better check your tickets. You might have a winner. On to weather. It's about 78 degrees today. Tomorrow, Friday's going to be 84. Saturday, 84. Sunday's going to be right around the same temperature, around 83. What's hot in the OC? Well, Skylar Day, she's going to be performing at the OC Fairground. And on Sunday, for all you people who love mariachi music, the Mariachi Cel do Mexico, they're going to be at the Orange County Fair. They're going to be at the OC Fair. Make sure you get out there, have some fun. On in entertainment, it is Real Love, and Real Love keeps rolling. Patrick Dempsey, actor, Mr. McDreamy, you remember him from Grey's Anatomy. He's a great actor, and he's an all-around cool guy. When he's not out doing movies, he loves racing cars, and he is a Porsche race car driver, so he gets out and has fun. Well, Patrick Dempsey and his lovely wife have celebrated their 25th wedding anniversary. Yep, 25 years they've been married, him and his wife Jillian, and they have 3 beautiful kids. They have a daughter, Tallulah, she's 22, and 2 twin boys, Sullivan and Darby, they're 17. Isn't that great? When you can see love that really works, that's an awesome, awesome thing. So on behalf of 90.3 FM, we would like to wish the Dempseys a wonderful, wonderful marriage celebration. Hey, congratulations. We're proud of you. Now, on to other news. Britney Spears, her memoirs are going to be turning into a biopic. That's right. Universal Pictures said that they have adapted her book, and this is Britney Spears' book, and it is called, her book, The Woman in Me. And it's going to be filmed and directed by John M. Chu and produced and developed by Mark Platt. So, wow, all you Britney Spears fans, you'll be seeing her story on the big screen. And that's going to wrap it up. I'm Rodney Allen Rippy, and you've just heard another 90.3 FM Radio Suerte report.